Hey, good afternoon, Dave.
Hi, Don.
So, in preparation for the May 4th special convention, we're going to release a few more videos about real specific topics. These are either topics that are on folks' minds right now, or they're ones the new Constitution and canons that will be accepted differ quite dramatically from our our typical ones, or the Constitution canons we currently all have in our three dioceses. So the first one of this has to do with the fact that if we vote for reunion at the May 4th special convention, at the general convention of the Episcopal Church this summer, at the very end of the convention, they will vote to ratify our reunion or acknowledge our reunion. And at that moment, there will no longer be a Diocese of Milwaukee, a Diocese of Fond du Lac, or a Diocese of Eau Claire. There will only be a Diocese of Wisconsin, which will not have had a convention yet. And so, therefore, theoretically, might not have any leadership.
Right,
So, what's going to happen in that moment that would get us to our first convention of the Diocese of Wisconsin?
right. So there's a transition plan in place for the standing committee, for the executive council, which in the Diocese of Fond du Lac is called the Board of Trustees, and for the commissions on ministry for each of those we'll call them precursor dioceses to fold into the new Diocese of Wisconsin. So for standing committee, that's just going to be a super committee where we smash together all of the members of the three standing committees of the three precursor dioceses, and they're going to function all summer until we can have an election in the fall. Executive councils in each diocese and board of trustees in Fond du Lac will elect three priests or deacons and three lay people each, and then the three diocesan treasurers, and that will be what gets us through October there. And then there's also a transitional group for commissions on ministry that'll mostly be appointed by Bishop Gunter, that will get us through to appointments for those positions in October. Once we get to October, then we will elect all of the positions that are necessary for both standing committee and for mission council. And then after those elections are made, those committees will draw lots to determine their term length. And then thereafter, we'll have the familiar rotation of terms where we're electing, a quarter or a third of each of those bodies every year.
So I want to talk a little bit more about those elections, but I want to make sure I've got my head wrapped around like what's going to happen in basically July, which would be the standing committees of all three dioceses, which all have the same name, standing committee. They're
Yep.
just going to become one Uber committee.
Jumbo. Yep.
Yep. And just everyone who's currently elected will serve on that
Right.
until elections in the fall. In the executive councils and then board of trustees, those bodies as they currently exist are amongst themselves right now electing three clergy and three lay folk to represent what's not going to be called the executive council. It's going to be called
Mission council.
the
Yes.
mission council. And then the Commission on Ministry, Bishop Gunter is going to handle its membership, and then will truly appoint members to that commission, which is what we currently do already at our
Exactly.
conventions every year. On these new governance bodies, how are we going to make sure that the historic dioceses have representation in
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
of these leadership committees?
So, especially for Mission Council, which is the name in the proposal for what's called Executive Council in the Diocese of Milwaukee and Eau Claire, and the Board of Trustees in the Diocese of Fond du Lac. Mission Council probably always has really been sort of the vestry of the diocese, if you will. So, anywhere diocesan funds are expended, they have oversight of anything that has to do with diocesan funds, with the exception of the relationship of the diocese to the diocesan bishop, which is given to standing committee by National Episcopal Church Constitution and Canons. But everything else that we would spend money on that we collect in assessments or from any other source of revenue would be subject to the oversight of Mission Council. So it's really important to us that we have as geographically a diverse body as we can on that body to make sure that we are attending to the concerns of all of the different kinds of parishes that we have. So there will be 13 elected members on Mission Council. So 13 positions that we'll need to elect for the fall. And you might remember that in the fall, the Trialogue published a map of ministry regions for the diocese that had 5 different regions on it. And so 10 of the 13 elected positions will be tied to one of those regions. So each region will elect a priest or a deacon and a layperson from their region to be on mission council for that region. And then convention generally will elect 3 more positions, 1 priest, 1 deacon, and 1 layperson to serve at large positions that aren't tied to a particular region. Each region will elect members at a meeting before convention for those 10 positions, and then convention itself will elect the 3 at-large positions in October at the first diocesan convention.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave. I think we've got something else that we're going to talk about at a later time, but I think this will get us covered. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the governance structure that's we presented in the Constitution and Canons?
No, I don't think so. Thanks, Don. This is great of you to contribute to.
Right. All right. Thanks, Dave. I'll see you later.
All right.